Welcome back to the channel. On my bench is my little Genexxa 5.5-inch portable colour TV. I've had this for a long time, 10 years, something like that. And it's developed a fault where it's actually burning out resistors on the audio board. The actual resistor goes there, just here, and when I put it in, it basically cooks them. Now I know it's the audio because I've got the speaker plugged in and there's absolutely no audio whatsoever. I need to do some more research. The circuit diagram I've got for this is pretty poor quality, so it's quite difficult to see what values are supposed to be there and all sorts, and because this thing burnt itself out, it's difficult to see the values. I've got a rough idea of what it is, so I try to sort of quite an old one, and that started burning up. So yeah, great little picture on it. It works an absolute treat. It's just very let's see what I can. There we go. Yeah, it's just, you turn it on and you can smell burning. So I'm trying to track it down now. I did replace a number of capacitors on this board. And what I might do is actually take them out one by one. I did a bulk recap. This is what can happen with bulk recaps. You end up introducing a fault, and the rest of it had been all recapped quite a few years ago, and a few more capacitors on there, and I did the recap and it was absolutely fine. And then I turned it on one day and it then just started burning up the resistor, and this is the resistor that actually powers the audio circuit. So it comes off this switch and it goes all the way down that board on the track on that side and into that resistor, and then that resistor then feeds that little IC down there. So I need to do a bit more research. It's going to be an interesting one, I think. This has been sitting on my side of on my bench on the side for quite some time, a good 2-3 months. I've just not felt the love for doing it, but I thought, well, today let's see what I can do with it. So what I've done is actually remove the resistor, just to confirm that the rest of the set is absolutely fine. It's playing perfectly fine. Good little picture considering the size of the tube. So what I'm going to do is actually have a look at the service diagram for this. Circuit diagram for this, I should say. The service manual, and see what we get. So this is the circuit diagram for this little TV. That's the switch down here. That's the resistor that's burning up, and so the resistor, the switch here, the on-off switch, which is this little switch here, is connected down to where the resistor should be, which is that connection there. So something above it is drawing a load of current. Now I've replaced that resistor, that capacitor, In fact, all of these capacitors have been replaced. What I'm trying to do is trying to see whether there's a short or something like that. I'm a bit suspicious about is that capacitor there. I have replaced it, that 10 microfarad 25. I think that's 10 microfarad. But it could be pulling it to ground, which could then be drawing a lot of current. Though it will draw it through the IC, and that little IC there is that little one there. So yeah, I'm just trying to work out. It could be that the IC's gone. Oh, come on, there we go. Could be that the IC's gone, but my suspicion is something I've done, because I replaced a few more of the capacitors on there, and then not soon after it started to have problems. So I could have introduced a fault somewhere. But yeah, that's the audio IC there. Because again, you've got the speaker here with the ear jack, which comes out on pin 5. So you've got some filter caps there. Yeah, let's have a look. There's Now I don't know what this chip is. Let's have a quick look. TBA H20M. So what I might do is have a quick look of that. Yeah, let's see what we can find out about that chip. Again, one of these could be shorted to ground, which is then pulling current through. I don't know. It's fairly quick at burning it up as well. It's like 5-10 seconds. So if that is a 1/2 watt resistor, which is there, again, you could put a larger one in, but that's really just smothering the issue. So what I might do is I might actually pull out these capacitors, the ones which are going to ground, and see where we get to on that one, and see. Put the resistor back in and see whether it starts burning up again. It could be this chip. It could be that chip's shorted inside. But yeah, I might be able to get another one. Seems to do it even without the speaker attached, so it's not the speaker which is causing an issue. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to actually pull that one there. Concerns me. Yeah, and that one there. Actually, that one there. C1. As you can see, you can hardly see what the damn thing says. 196, 106, 22016, maybe. That one there. Yeah. Okay. Right. Let's pull those capacitors out and check them out. I've taken the little chip out, the TBA 820M. I found the service sheet for it, and it's pretty straightforward. And again, I'm just looking at the test and application circuits here and seeing which way it's actually configured. So you've got two ways to set up this circuit with this chip. So with the load connected to the supply voltage, or with the load connected to ground. And I believe that we've got from the diagrams from the Genexxa TV that we're actually load connected to ground here. So if we look over on this one, yeah, so we've got a little 0.1 or 0.2 microfarad capacitor there, and also a 22016 there. On the top one here, we've got so on the right hand side, I should say, we've got a capacitor there. Oh my god, where did that spider come from? Oh, okay, that made me jump. Yeah, and I've got the resistor here on the bootstrap. Sorry, distracted by that spider. On the bootstrap pin, we've got a resistor here which looks like 66, but that could actually also be 56 here. Yeah, I'm just trying to trace it through. So we've got 100 microfarad 15 volt capacitor there, and we've got a 47 here on the bootstrap. So yeah. So I'm just working my way through. I do suspect this chip. I do suspect it because the power supply, or the resistor that powers this, only powers this. It doesn't do anything else. So it's something to do with this circuit. I've checked all the other components out there, and I can't see too much that's going wrong. So yeah, I do think that this chip here has failed, and it's just pulling a huge amount of current. So yeah, I've checked pretty much everything else all around here, and there's nothing really wrong with it. The input from the rest of the television is here. So R118 1K comes in here. It's pin 3, so pin 3 is the input, pin 5 is the output. What is pin 2? What is pin 2? Okay, pin 2 is a gain setting, so that comes in from a frequency compensation pin here. So yeah, that all looks fine. I just think this chip's gone bad. I've even checked the ear connection just to make sure that it's all good, and it's not shorting out somewhere else and causing the amplifier to basically pull a huge amount of current. No, it's all fine. So yeah, I've got one on order. I've got a new chip on order, so we can put that in and see what happens. I said this little 32 ohm, 33 ohm, 32 ohm half watt resistor is just getting cooked, absolutely cooked. So it's only that power supply, that is the power supply going in. So you've got a direct feed into pin 6, and that pin 6 has got a range of, I think it was 3 to 16 volts, something like that. So that's the only thing with a direct connection on here. You've got filter capacitors here. And again, if I look at the here, we've got 2 filter capacitors and a 56 ohm bootstrap pin which goes out to the output. So you've got essentially like a feedback loop here. Yeah, that looks fine. It all looks fine. Everything all there, all checks out. I think it is that chip. So well, let's wait for that chip to come in. Might take a few days before I'm back on this one. I've got other projects to get on, and let's see what happens when I replace the chip. With the chip out of circuit, and I've removed it there, the resistor is absolutely fine. It is back in, and no, stone cold. So I do think that it's the chip itself has actually died on it. The little audio amplifier has died, and yeah, it's new one's on order. So when that comes in, I'll fit it and see how we go. But as I said, the rest of the TV is absolutely fine. So I think that was like 99p plus £1.15 postage. So it's relatively cheap to do a cheap attempt to try and fix it. It could be that once it's back in circuit, it might be that it's something else is drawing a huge amount of current once it's back in circuit. But I think this is a good bet that this little chip has died in some way. I can test it. I can put an input and output voltage and things. I could even actually, I think I've got enough to even actually create the circuit manually. I just haven't got the test board stuff anymore. I threw all my stuff out because it was just worn out. So okay, yeah, okay, let's just check that again. No, it was slightly warm, but nothing near as warm as it was. So I think it's just powering up the ancillary circuits around there, the actual capacitors and things like that. So that's all it's doing. And even then, it's going to be a relatively small circuit. So let's just quickly look at that. So coming in, it's powering that. It's powering that. That circuit there. Yeah. So got a resistor there, and I can feel the actual the other resistor, the one which is overheating, that one there. I can feel that one getting very slightly warm, very slightly warm. So yeah, so it's just powering up these parts here. So yeah, I do think it's that chip. I do think it's that chip there. All right, let's wait for the chip to come in, and we can install it and see what happens. So the chip came in, the new one, and I've actually fitted it. It's now in circuit, and it was pretty quick and easy to do, just there. The old chip is here, and so what we'll do is now I've got video plugged in. Just want to make sure that I don't end up blowing something up. Just make sure that's all underneath there like that. So let's turn on. Well, we have audio, and
the sky was black.
we have video.
I couldn't see any stars, but it was that black.
So,
an hour and a half after liftoff.
That sounds absolutely fine. Now, is this getting hot?
I was up on a porch. I was the highest step in the
No, it's not.
Looking down on our
That
planet.
resistor is
I could see the clouds below and
got a little warmth to it, but nothing like it was. It was burning up really quickly. So I think it was that chip. Yeah, it was that chip. I think it was pulling way too much current through that resistor. Let's just feel again. I'm going to leave this on test. No, it's cool to the touch. So yeah, that was a good fix. That was a good fix. Took a little while to work out what it was, but yeah. Again, pretty straightforward actually, because that entire whole circuit is isolated. That resistor there only feeds the audio chip and the output for the speaker here. So that was pretty much an easy. Yeah, it's not going to be much else there. So yeah, I'm going to leave this on test, and let's see what happens to it. Okay, so the little Genexxa is back together again. It seems to be working really well. Nice.
All right then, come on.
Yep, not a problem. So yeah, I need to adjust it a little bit. The horizontal is a bit off, but otherwise, yeah, that's sticking out a little bit. I need to sort that out. This is a really nice little thing. Surprisingly useful, especially when doing setups on video recorders and stuff like that. Okay, so the pitch quality on that isn't particularly good, but it's a reasonable picture. It's a nice little telly. So it can also be run from a battery as well. So it's got some an antenna socket, an ear socket, video input and output socket up here, and you can switch between. Yeah, it's close to 30 years old, so it's a bit of an old thing, but yeah, it's working absolutely fine. So I can put it back on the bench and start using it for doing video setups and stuff like that. So thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe if you like this type of thing, and I'll see you on the next video.